Renovating an old Stuart steam engine. Part 4. Cleaning up the outer part of the stuffing gland using a rotary scourer to remove the tarnish. I finished off the job by using some Brasso to make it shine. The next job is to clean up the steam chest to remove the sealant residue. I also used the rotary scourer on the end parts and the valve spindle fork. I show the packing of the glands using new old stock graphited yarn. This is followed by using a whetstone on the surface of the slide valve. Very frequently I find that gland nuts are literally that. They're made from hexagon material, and once the engine is assembled it's quite difficult to adjust the valve because it's difficult to get a spanner on the actual nut itself. Making the gland nut the way you see here is a much better idea. All you do is use a Tommy bar in any of the holes that you can see, which is generally about 2 when it's in the engine. This gland nut has been in the engine for a long time, and subsequently it's very badly stained and tarnished. To get rid of this, first of all I use a rotary scourer in my Proxon motor tool, then I use some cellulose thinners and a toothbrush, and after a while it really is starting to look a lot better. It doesn't need to be brilliantly shiny, I just want it to look clean and well cared for. I finish off the job using some Brasso, and soon enough the part looks just how I want it to. This clip was taken before I polished it up using a cloth, and as you can see it's looking quite good anyway, even though it's covered in Brasso residue. This small drawer says graphited yarn on it, as you can see, but if you look closer it's not graphited yarn. Most of it is Teflon coated yarn, which is what I use these days. But on this engine I'm going to backtrack because I have a piece of graphited yarn which is new old stock, far better than the modern stuff. Also it's a good bit thicker than the bits of Teflon coated yarn that I've picked off a larger piece. This will do the job perfectly. What I'm doing in this clip is winding the graphited yarn in the wrong direction. It really should be in the same direction as the thread, but I really don't think it makes any difference. It does if the graphited yarn is very thin, but this is quite thick. And I don't think that anything bad is going to happen when I tighten the gland nut. Here goes. There is one thing that I've forgotten to do. You must always put some steam oil in with the graphited yarn like this. I've just put that right, and so now there's plenty of lubricant in the gland. To tighten this gland you need to use a Tommy bar. I'm actually using a small taper pin. The technique for tightening glands from my experience is to tighten the gland until the piston rod or the valve rod starts to be a little bit tight, then back it off a tiny bit. If you over tighten a gland nut, it will put too much pressure on the yarn, and that in turn will score the piston rod. You wouldn't think so, but it does. I thought this would also be a good time to apply some steam oil to the piston and cylinder. The next job is to clean up the parts that are covered in sealant residue. A cloth was no good. I had to use a toothbrush dipped in cellulose thinners, and this removed every bit of the residue. Well, almost anyway. I decided to clean up both sides using some 400 grade wet dry sandpaper. Very soon the steam chest was clean enough to be serviceable. Here I'm removing the valve spindle by unscrewing it from the drive block that moves the slide valve. As I turn the assembly over you can see this more clearly. Here is the slide valve, and if you look carefully at it you will see that it's scored in a vertical direction, up and down, because that's the way it's always moved. Having said that, it is quite serviceable as it is, but I'm going to improve it. Here I'm cleaning up the sides of the steam chest, followed by using the rotary scourer once again for the ends. I don't want to remove all the machining marks because they actually look okay. I'm cleaning up the middle part, and what is this middle part? Well, it's hollow inside, and it takes the end of the valve spindle and acts as a guide to keep the valve rod perfectly in line. In no time at all, the steam chest is looking a lot better than it did. Moving on, I'm cleaning up the valve fork on the valve spindle using the rotary scourer once again. These rotary scourers are really cheap. They come in three colours, like a straw colour, which is the coarse one, a red one, which is a bit less coarse, and the green one that's not as coarse as the other two. You have to be careful though, if you run them too fast, the wheel actually shreds and covers you in bits of abrasive nylon. Here I'm starting the initial clean-up of the gland flange. After removing the brass gland cover for further cleaning, I'm now removing the graphited yarn from inside the gland, and there's a lot of it. When I was unbolting the gland cover, one of the two small studs unscrewed from the casting, and here I'm using some Loctite 243, which is a thread locker. Do not use Loctite retainers, it's really not necessary. This 243 will hold the stud in position perfectly. With the gland flange now removed, I can concentrate on cleaning it as a separate entity. A piece of blue Scotch-Brite seems to be doing the trick. In this clip, using a ruler, I'm scraping some of the sealant residue from the inside of the steam chest. There are one or two slight marks on this gland flange, but they will be okay. It is, after all, not a new engine, and I don't really want it to look like one. Here's another length of new old stock graphited yarn. And all I have to do, remembering to fit the flange first, is twist it around the valve spindle, not forgetting to apply a quantity of steam oil to the graphited yarn. I can now retighten the nuts that hold the part in place. Now I'm going to work on the slide valve using my whetstone. It's always gone in an up and down direction, and you can see the marks on the face if you look carefully. I'm using it on the whetstone in the opposite direction. This will remove the marks and leave a perfect flat surface. I'm also using a rotary motion, and the combination of the two directions gives the perfect finish. The last thing to do is to check that the valve spindle isn't too tight and the valve moves up and down freely. Everything's looking good, and that's it for this episode. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.